Hey, welcome to another episode of Take a Deep Breath with Yvonne Daniels podcast. I'm your well-being girlfriend, Yvonne Daniels. And of course, it is all about encouraging you to embrace the power of giving your body permission to relax. That's for better choices, health, and wealth. We're doing it one deep breath at a time. And remember, all you need is an open heart and an open mind and a willingness to grow and to go. Of course, over this way, we're all about changing health narratives, leaving health legacies, and remembering that health is the wealth that we are born with. We talk about all the other wealth that we need to know about, which is great. I want to leave those legacies, but that health, to know that you're born with that particular wealth, man, that's just an awesome thing. So I have got, of course, my producer, Mr. Matt, in the building. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing today?
I am wonderful. And I've got my girl in the building, one of my coworkers, Kenzie. Kenzie, hey, hey, hey.
Hey.
I'm so glad to have you on this podcast with me. I've referenced you quite a bit in my podcast, and I'm like, I have a so anytime you hear me say I have a coworker that, a lot of times it's her, because we used to sit like right in front of each other. Her office was in front of mine, and so we've had some transition, but I'm so glad to have you on this episode. We are talking about the fact that October is Positive Attitude Month. Yay! And of course, that's encouraging individuals to adopt a positive mindset and focus on the good in every situation, which can be challenging sometimes, but it's the best route.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I've told you this before, but Matt knows because he does it with me every podcast episode. We've always started off how, Matt?
With a deep breath.
There you go. So let's all take that deep breath. Come on. In and out. It really makes a difference.
And you have to do the sigh.
Yes.
You have to let it out.
You hear me sighing a lot
I
in the
do.
hallways.
I do.
I'm telling you, I practice this a lot.
And that's why you're so positive. You take a deep breath.
But it really is, it really does make a difference having a positive attitude. And I know we hear it. It's cliche, we'll have a positive attitude.
Right.
See the glass half full as opposed to half empty.
Right.
But it really does make a difference. And, we talk about the fact that there's a significance in having a positive attitude. So let me ask you, Kenzie, how hard is it for you to realistically be positive throughout your day?
Some days it's harder than others, obviously. When I'm someone that has to have a routine, right? And when my routine gets it gets like kind of jumbled up, I kind of sometimes will feel myself losing it a little bit, right? And then I have to remind myself, okay, deep breath, right?
Yeah,
right? Deep breath. And, especially with routines and like if I get pushed behind or like I something keeps me back for a minute, right? The burnt toast theory. You're aware of that, right?
Right.
The burnt toast theory. So I always tell myself, okay, this is not going the way I want for a reason.
Right.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay. And sometimes that reason may show and sometimes it may not. But
you had an instance that you just were telling me about something that happened this morning that kind of threw what we call a monkey wrench in your plan. And so, but you found a way to say, you know what? I got to do it. I got to press through.
Yep.
And so one of the best ways to do that is being positive. And a quick way to get there is to take a deep breath.
Absolutely. And we did that. And because of that, I didn't have to wake up at 4 a.m. this morning.
Yay! We love that.
Yes.
All right. So just talking about this, and hopefully you are thinking about some things in your life, that, what, I can look at it and I can take the positive from that. That really is going to help you kind of get through not only that situation, but it just, it aims to promote and benefit positive outlooks on life, serving as a reminder to shift our perspectives, because sometimes our perspectives can be what gets in our way. Once again, we talk about the glass being half empty to a half full approach. It can significantly impact your mental health, relationships, your overall well-being. You don't want to be snapping at people, snapping at your spouse, snapping at your children. You know what I'm saying? And a good way to do snapping at your coworkers, snapping at your boss. It's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. It's not. You had me on. I'm the silly one. Everything's so silly to me.
But seriously,
it
can improve your coping skills, better motivation, enhanced happiness in your life. And we talk about the fact that, I know negative people. I know people that it's just kind of like their thing to be negative. But if you have decided, you know what? No, I'm going to turn that switch. I want to be positive. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, but it is kind of like those taking the, one step at a time. to make sure that, we are positive, and we were talking about the fact that men kind of get missed too. So men, I want to talk to you as well, because, sometimes men, I have not discussed this a lot, but, my husband passed away on December of last year. And, it's still dealing with that. But I tell you, my husband loved my husband to pieces. He was a man's man. And so sometimes I would have to tell him and how to kind of have to, look at here.
Reel it in.
Yes, reel it in, But seriously, it can, for men, it is so positive. It is so positive, or so important, I should say, to be positive, to have that positive outlook, because men can be looked at as providers. They are the ones that are, I'm the leader, I am the provider, but they need to be positive too. And sometimes it can be stressful, I'm sure,
the pressure.
Yep. The pressure, the stress, stress that will take you out. I will tell anybody that. So
yes, it will.
Yeah. And, having a positive mental attitude will lead to a better diet, because eating is very important. Sometimes when we're stressed out, we just heard one of our other coworkers that was talking about the fact that he went all day without eating, stressed out, doing different things or whatever. So being positive, taking your deep breaths can lead to better diets, regular exercise. We work it out all the time, because that's very important to move that body.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So all of this it's good stuff. It sounds good, but then you may say, well, how do I do that? That sounds good. You're talking real good, but how do I do that? So one way is you can write in your journal, your gratitude journal. A lot of people find that very helpful. I'm starting to write down. I'm more of a mental, I just write it in my mind to kind of think about, if something is going bad or negatively for me, I will start to think about, what about this? What about this small thing or that small thing? And it will start to compound. And then you will start to see, a lot of times you have so many more positive things in your life than negative. And so it's very helpful.
And can I ask you a question?
Sure.
What is your thought on, being around positive people, or trying to surround yourself with more positive people? Say you have negative people in your life, or negative friends, that are always, sulking, or like, poor me, or this happened. And, I think that there's a time and place for everyone to feel that for a little bit, like, but when it's someone that just kind of drains your energy and your positivity with their negativity, what is your thought on that?
It really is. And that is definitely what it does. It drains you. And it is, my mom used to say this, and I would say, nah, but she's right. If you're around that a lot, it will rub off on you, and you will find yourself, you're like, wait a minute, that's not how but
exactly.
You're around that.
Yep.
And so we love those people, we have people that we love that are, but I tend to kind of try and find myself going around, helping when I can, if I, but not being in their presence on a regular basis.
Right.
If that's what, I'm going to have to take in, because it really is an energy, and I'm an energy person, and that can drain your energy.
And I have that, like, I don't know if it's part of like the empathy, right? Where it's so strong that you almost take on someone else's energy. Like you just said, energy. When you and I, again, we're tight here at work, and then we ran into each other at the grocery store over the weekend, and it was so awesome to see you. And but when you, what were we just getting into there? I got so excited that remembering seeing you at the grocery store. I just
forgot hanging around negative people.
Yeah. And then you kind of start, like you said, you start to almost feel that you're negative now, or you're like, wait a minute, this isn't me. I don't want to. And unfortunately, sometimes you do have to, you can love from a distance and still be there for people. But I think sometimes, again, that distance, if you're like, this is not making me who I know I am or who I can be, I gotta take a step back and take a deep breath.
Yeah. Take a deep breath and back. We have to do that, right?
Yes.
So, so just staying around positive people, keeping a journal, gratitude journal is very helpful. Thinking about your thoughts. I think about sometimes, if I have friends, or I know people that are like, I'm just really in a depressed state, I will ask them, well, what are you thinking about? What have you been thinking about? Because when you focus on certain things, it really it messes with your mental health, and it will cause you to become more negative, more depressed. And so that's something that we have to, and sometimes you have to intentionally say, I'm not thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to think about this.
Yes. Words are powerful.
They are. I had a lady that made such an impact in my life, and she would always say, thoughts are things and words have power. So I always think about that. Words are very powerful, and thoughts are things. So think about what you're thinking about. And then also to be patient with yourself, be kind to yourself. I know, Matt, my trusty, you know, I almost feel like I'm, you know, Matt usually is, but you know, when I'm with my girls.
Yes.
You know, and I asked you this the last podcast, right? I asked you, you know, if you were kind to yourself, and I always thank him for his transparency. He's so transparent with me on these podcasts. And what did you say, Matt?
I am not.
But have you thought about that? Have you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, and realize that maybe I do need to be more kind to myself, right? Yeah, and so that's all of us. Sometimes we're at a point where we are just don't talk and are not kind to ourselves. So to be intentional about being kind to yourself, being patient with yourself, and knowing that these steps, you know, take one step at a time.
Exactly.
One step at a time.
And if you don't mind me sharing, because you just made me think of something, I like to think that I'm kind to myself. But yeah, you just said, but recently there has been a lot of really cool things happening for me, to me. And I'm like, I don't understand why me. I'm not that special. I'm not that whatever. And not only have you, but other people are like, are you serious?
Right. Yeah.
Like you need to start seeing or believing these things are happening to and for you because of who you are. And I'm trying to really like hone in on that and be like, okay, you know. And
so even with that, I mean, you're around people. So imagine if you were around people that, first of all, didn't, when you told them that, they were like,
yeah, you don't.
Either said nothing or said, yeah, maybe, you know, then, I mean, imagine how you'd start to sink even like, don't. And it just gets worse and worse.
Right.
So that's a great example of why being around positive people. And I'm not talking about people that are blowing smoke up your buns.
Right. Exactly.
We're not talking about that. Yeah. Okay. We're talking about being honest, but being positive, you know, and so trying to see, I'm the kind of person, I try and see the good in, and I'm not naive, but I try and see the good in people, you know, because I believe that ultimately, I think for the most part, people have a lot of things that they're dealing with. We all do.
Yes.
And so that, you know, is the reason why people say some of the stuff they say and act the way they act, you know, but trying to really be to the point where I think last year I got the most positive award at our Christmas thing. So I was like, oh wow, people, thank you.
And that's so real too. It's so true.
I really try and live that though, you know. So so we want to think about our thoughts, our gratitude journal. If you want to write it in your mind like I do, just being intentional about really being thinking about those things that are great in your life, that are good in your life, and not just one day, but really make it a habit of doing it. Even if you can do, I've seen people that say, write down 3 things that you're thankful for, that are good in your life, you know, and when you start doing that, you're like, for me, it makes me, then I go into that and I'm like that before you know it, I got 20 things.
Exactly.
And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
Not so bad.
And another thing that I like to do when I wake up, and it might be silly, but I notice a difference if I forget to do it or if I just whatever. But like when I open my eyes or when my alarm goes off, you know, I hit the alarm. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then I say, today's going to be a good day. Good things are going to happen. Like we're going to have fun. We're going to smile. We're going to laugh. Yeah. And on days that I just kind of forget to like tell myself off the jump, like today's going to be good. Sometimes there's, and I don't know, maybe that's just all in my head, right? Like I let a little bit of negativity in or whatever. But first thing when I get up, I love to, like you said, think of things that I'm grateful for, things that I have, my health, I have an able body and all of that. And try to say, today's going to be a good day. Good things are coming to us. Like, you know, and remind myself of that. Yeah.
And you know me, I thank the Lord for all that. Thank you, Lord, for all of that. You are so good to me. So, you know, just thinking about all those things. And so these are just some ways, staying healthy, exercising. Once again, you know, we are all about moving that body because it's so important to get the blood going and flowing. Movement is really
energy
important
too.
It is.
Move the energy through your body, like, and I whether people are listening or watching this, because you can do both, which is so cool. I'll like just, you know, bust out in these weird, just moving my body, whether it's good or not. Right. But like when you're done, that energy releases, whether it's good or bad, and it just feels so good. And me and you are always dancing in the hallways here.
Always. You'd be like, oh, that's what they, that's how we keep it moving and popping. So all of that is so very important. These are just ways that you can really, and I will add this because this is something I've been dealing with here lately is, I'm going to throw this in. This is part of one of our core things that we deal with on every podcast. Getting enough sleep is very, because, you know, when you are not getting enough sleep, that can make you not the most positive person in the world.
No.
So it's very important to do that.
Yes.
I'm working on it.
Yes.
I did last night. I got enough sleep and I got up and I got up before time.
Ooh.
That's what that'll do.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
So as we continue to celebrate Positive Attitude Month during this month of October, just think about these things that are simple ways. Hopefully, this has helped you. These are simple ways that you can start to celebrate. Let's start by celebrating Positive Attitude Month and then making these daily habits. Man, I tell you what, I thank you so much, Kenzie, for joining me for this podcast. This has been, I knew it was when I asked you to come, I was like, if she says yes,
I'm so happy.
So I thank you so much for doing that. I thank you so much for listening and being a part of this episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can also check out my Deep Breath and Taste Buds.blogspot.com. I'm going to have to change that title on that, but I'll change my website. But anyway, once again, check it out. Deep Breath and Taste Buds at blogspot.com. And Kenzie and Matt, how do we end this every episode?
Taking a deep breath.
All right, that's how we do it, Kenzie. So let's do that last deep breath. Come on. Thank you so much for joining me for Take a Deep Breath with Yvonne Daniels podcast, and I will see you on the next episode.
Good stuff.